It got hated on because it was so good. What are you talking about, bro? You ain't even see.
Jackson 8.
Do you not answer?
Yeah, dude, this clear. It's clear, bro.
That's not why. That's not why the presence is. That's not why I'm the presence of God.
It even has a better rating online. If you're up there.
Can you smite this dude?
Alright, so we have this today, and of course every other Tuesday will be another meet. I'll always keep everyone updated in the group chat ahead of time. Hoodies, next sale will go out on Friday. I have a list of some people that are on there already. If you want to get added to there, just text me on Snapchat or whatever, and I'll get it for you. Have a question? Go ahead.
When do we do the shows in this room? Is it Sunday nights?
Yeah, it's typically Sunday nights when we try to do it.
Tyler wanted to change the dates, or change the nights we do this to Sunday nights.
This?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's the day you asked Jim to.
Are we serious?
Yeah.
I prefer doing it on Tuesday because that's earlier and more people.
Oh, how's it going?
Good.
That's all I
Okay.
Same question.
Yeah, so the next grading, I'm hoping to do it on this Sunday coming up since we skipped for a few weeks. Yeah. Friday. Also, you saw the message for the last shipment for hoodies is coming here in a few days. I think that's all the announcements I have. So, I've seen some improvements in a few of you over the past few weeks that we've been doing this. And it's awesome. It's the whole point of doing this, really. You know, putting in some type of effort. I've seen that. But I don't want any of you to get comfortable in just doing small improvements here and there. Don't get comfortable in just doing a little bit here and there and just trying to get by with the minimum. Always try to look for something big that you can change to really make an improvement in your lives, because it helps a lot. Once you stop, you know, doing small things, once you make a big difference, you'll feel it and you'll notice it, and then you want to keep changing and getting closer. Proverbs 14:2. He who walks in his uprightness fears the Lord, but he who is perverse in his ways despises him. Walk in uprightness to honor him. Basically, uprightness meaning to have your head on your shoulders. You know, good morals, a sense of direction, a path in life, always be honest, have good integrity, good traits like that. It's saying to be a good, respectable person to honor him. So just like we talked about before, being lazy, not working hard, things like that, goes against what he taught us to be, goes against what he taught us to do. So again, being a good, respectable person, doing things you know you're supposed to do, is just another great way of showing who you are in your faith and how important that is. And other people around you will notice that. And that's important also, because whenever you say that you're a Christian, whenever you say that you follow Christ, people will start watching you and listening to things you say, watch the things that you do, how you act. So you have to act accordingly with that to put on, you know, not a show, but to show who you are supposed to be in the faith and not act the way that everyone else in the world does. We have to separate ourselves. And by separating ourselves and acting accordingly and following his, you know, teachings, that's how we bring glory to him and his kingdom. If you don't respect him and his commandments, then what are you really doing? What's the point? What's the point of saying that's who you are if you don't really follow it, you know? Why be so foolish in that way? Why continue to live on the fence when there's a side of good and bad, good and evil, God and the devil? But I see so many people, majority of people in the earth want to sit on the fence. They think they can get away with sitting on the fence. It's like a cheat code, they think. But the devil owns the fence. You can't just sit on the fence your whole life and expect to go to heaven. That's not how it works. You're either on one side or the other. You may see it as normal or blending in or, following the trends, following what everyone else does in the world. But I say you're already lost if you think that. You have to see it as you can't live your life doing what everyone else does, sitting on the fence or leaning to the wrong side and saying that you're leaning the right side. That in itself is just a lie. When you look at their lives, that's a lie. And by following those lies and not changing, we're just going to lead ourselves into the eternal fire that was promised whenever we do the wrong things. Time and time again, I hear people also saying, I don't want to give my life to God. I don't want to step fully onto the good side of the fence, because they always seem like it's so much work to do that. I'm always wrong. I feel like I'm never doing anything right. I feel like I'm always sinning, or I don't even know what a sin really is or how to stay away from it. But that's not, like I've said so many times before, that's not really the right way of looking at it. That's a lazy way of looking at it. That's taking the easy path and getting away from it and trying to just find an excuse to continue to live the same way that everyone else lives. We can't give into that. We have to stay strong and do what we know is right, even if that walk is difficult. And the tack or the walk is definitely going to feel difficult in the faith, because if you're not following his commandments and living the way that he wants you to, getting closer to him, reading, staying in it, doing all the right things, if you're not doing that, then you're living the way of the devil, and he's going to leave you alone. You'll know when you're doing the wrong things, because he leaves you alone. You feel comfortable all the time, like nothing's wrong. You feel like everything's all right. As soon as you start doing the right things, growing close to God, trying and making an effort to go closer to him, you'll start seeing things in your life getting difficult. You'll start seeing things go wrong, people walking out on you, stuff like that, things breaking, vehicle breaking down, getting in accidents. Those are all going to absolutely come, and that happens to everyone, because he wants to tear you down, so you lose your faith, you lose your hope in him, and then you stop seeking him. And that's exactly what he wants. Exactly what the devil wants you to do is stop seeking him and go right back into your old ways. And then he's got you, and then he keeps you comfortable there, and there's no reason to go back after that. That's the trap that everyone falls into. You can't be like everyone else. You can't fall into that. Stay strong in the faith. That's why we have this group. Keep each other strong in the faith, so none of us fall individually. We're all one unit, and we stay strong together. John 3:4, everyone who sins is breaking God's law, for all sin is contrary to the law of God. Keep in mind that sin is bad, but it's bad for good reasons. It's not just putting limitations on our lives, making it more difficult for us to live every day. It's not just, taking all the joy and excitement and fun out of our lives. It's there. It's put in place for a very good reason, to protect us and help us, so that we can see real love and peace later on in life whenever we get through the difficult times. And not only does it protect us, but also protects God. Using the Lord's name in vain. It's not just, just a rule or a law or whatever, just because. There's a good reason to it. It says in the Bible that by using his name in vain, we're disrespecting him. And by disrespecting him, you're immediately disproving your faith. How can you respect and love God if you disrespect him with your words? That's not how that works. We can't do that. We have to respect him and honor him in every way possible. And then by, very, very common thing now, especially for our generation, is people living every single day full of lustful thoughts. We can't do that either. Intentions like that disrespect other people. It's not just something internally. We're disrespecting them. And by disrespecting them, we're disrespecting God's creation. So in another way, we're still disrespecting Him. You know, that's not just an object for you to think of like that. We have to be different from that. We can't be like everyone else. Again, we have to respect everyone, love everyone as we love ourselves. And that's another way of doing that. And again, on this walk, you're going to face hard times. Jesus told us when He was talking to His disciples, a short time before He was, put through the beatings and hung on the cross, He told His disciples that we're going to be persecuted because we love Him. He said that in John 15:20. You're going to have hard times where you question why you're even doing things that you're doing, why you're on this path of all these things that you're trying to do now. You're going to, you'll see a day when the devil takes things from you one by one. Same exact thing they did in the story of Job. He took things from him one by one, trying to break him. You'll see a day when the world looks at you weird, or talks about you behind your back because you no longer want to hang out with them. You no longer want to do the sinful things that they do. You no longer want to live in the dark. Now that you choose to live in the light, everyone that's still in the dark is going to look at you weird. You'll see a day when doors are shut in your face and you feel completely lost as your hope fades. You lose every care and want, desire, everything that you've ever had, everything. You understand hell on earth at that point whenever you're fading away from it and you feel yourself falling away from the faith. That's another very common thing. But again, we have to stay strong in the faith, and we have to stay strong as a unit. The church isn't just a building. The church of Jesus Christ is the people. And as a people, as a collection of people in this faith, we have to stay strong. And the only way to, keep ourselves on the right path is to check each other and keep each other in check. Even me, don't look at me differently. If you see me acting out of line or, not living as I'm supposed to in the faith, always remind me. I'm no different from any of y'all. I'm still on the same path trying to get better. But don't let it get too far whenever you're falling too far away from Him. Don't ever rely on yourself to keep yourself out of, falling away from Him. Don't ever rely on yourself to keep you out of sinful ways. You have to rely on the people around you. But not just the people around you, but also continue to run to Him. You have to continue to run in prayer and reading, all of that, whatever it takes. You can't let your Bible collect dust. You can't let your prayer hands grow cold. You have to stay strong in that, and you'll hold on to that faith that you have and continue to grow it. Matthew 11:28. Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." You will not find peace, love, fulfillment, rest until you know Him. You may think you know Him, but I tell you, you haven't fully experienced it until you find it through Christ Jesus. The love and peace of the world is nothing in comparison to what you'll find through Him. While in the dark places in life, the devil will put shame in your heart, makes you not want to speak to the Father or speak to the people around you that you know are going to hold you accountable, because he's still trying to keep you down. By isolating you and keeping you away from people that can pull you up, keeping you away from the Lord, he's just further tear you down in that. Stay away from that lone cowboy kind of mindset where you think you can handle it yourself. Don't get comfortable in that. And again, stand strong in faith, run to Him in all things. Can't do it alone. So again, this group, it's what it's here for. Run to Him, find rest in Him. Like it said in Matthew, you'll find rest in Him, not by doing it yourself, but whenever you yoke up with Him, He's going to help you carry your burdens in this life to where it's not so difficult. You don't have to always do it by yourself. I have to listen to that one, especially. Too many times I've tried to do it myself. I can't. And I failed because I tried to do it myself. All the knowledge that you'll need to find is in the Bible. It's your guideline, your manual for life. It's not just a storybook for entertainment purposes. It has true power in the Word because He is the Word. Through prayer and reading, praise to Him, and He'll cleanse your heart. A lot of the desires and lustful, wants that we have within ourselves is us not just fighting against the devil and what he's trying to do to us, but it's a fight against our own flesh. Our flesh wants certain things, and we have to deny that. Like I've talked about before, we have to deny the flesh, and we have to walk through our spirit and not through our flesh or through our soul. Can't let our humanly desires take control. We can't let our emotions take control or anything like that. We have to walk through our faith, through our spirit, and what we understand from the Word to make the right, rational decisions in every day. And again, God lives through the Word. He is the Word. So that's the number one best resource is the Word. Through prayer and reading, you can't help but not grow close to Him with enough time you put into it. And over time of doing that, you'll slowly feel those desires and bad intentions fading from you as you grow closer to Him. You become closer to who He originally designed you to be, and not the sinful ways that we came to grow into after the first sin in the Garden of Eden. That's where we got that from, and now can't escape it. And in that way of Him cleansing your heart takes time. It's not just read the Bible one time and then everything's fixed. It takes time, like always. There's a common practice in landscaping. I've used it a lot over the years. You have to dig into nice areas sometimes to fix pipe or install something in the ground like sprinkler systems, things like that. And a lot of times whenever you do that for customers, they don't already have like decorational rocks that are like really pretty looking, set up perfectly. When you walk over them, they're really stable and they don't move around a lot. And you'll have to dig through that into the dirt. Do whatever work you have to do. And then whenever you put it, you can't just throw it all back in the hole then, because then there's dirt mixed in with the rocks that you just dug out. So you basically have to rake it back and forth across the ground, this pile. And once you go back and forth a few times, it takes a little bit, takes a lot of effort and work. You work back and forth across the ground with that rake. And the more you do that, it works all the dirt down to the bottom. And all that's left on top is those pretty rocks from before. That's basically what God's doing in our hearts. The more we spend time in prayer with that rake, we're working through our hearts. We're giving Him an opportunity to work through our hearts. And then all that's left are the good, pretty intentions and characteristics, and who He actually created us to be is left on top. And then we're not always going to be the same. You can't just put the rocks right back where they used to be. Whenever you put them back, they're going to be a little different, completely different pattern. He's going to do the same thing within us. He's going to basically make us new within him. We're not going to be the same pattern of rocks that we were before. We're going to be a new creation through him. You know, sometimes in life it feels like everything is going wrong, but it's not the end. Sometimes God does have to put us through difficult times to test us, to build us, to grow us. You just have to, again, continue to do things like I told you to do. And once you come out the other side, you're going to be better. You're going to be closer to who He wants you to be. You're going to be prepared for whatever the next thing is that He throws at you. I can't stress it enough. Through the church, this group of people, we have to check each other, keep each other accountable. Language, especially. We need to be praying, we need to be reading, respecting and loving each other. All those things are very important. That's all we have to do. Any questions? It was basically a little bit of covering what we've talked about from previous meets, just kind of wrapping it all up, a little different idea though. So next time I'll have, a different idea, new things to talk about. I just kind of wanted to recap on stuff again, kind of better cover some of the things I've talked about before, also clarify a little better. So today's structure of how we did things is a little different. That's why I don't want to explain it too much. It's a little different, but you get the overall gist of it. But how'd you like that?
I find it really helpful and like I say like distractions that he puts towards us, and most of us are basically in that type of category. And even though we try, like we do good for a good 3, 4, 5 months, and then out of nowhere just happens again, and you have to kind of go 5 steps back to where you just were. So it's like every day, even though you can't feel it, and sometimes you do feel it, don't feel it, it's basically you always have the spiritual warfare no matter what.
That's right. Yeah. There's always that warfare going on, whether you see it or not. Any questions or anything other than that? Any ideas of what you want to hear about for next time?
How do you say? Like emotion-wise, I would say, how to not, or how to try to not go to a certain state or into a situation that you know that's going to have consequences to, whether it's at work or at anywhere where you're at, and then
how to deny those things whenever they come up. It's good. It's a good idea. Anything else? Okay, not bad. Any questions or anything? I wasn't too boring, was I?
No.
I fear that sometimes I speak a little too monotone and, repeat the same things far too many times and it gets boring.
I think you're really good.
Thank you. Should be it for today.
Thank you, Pastor.